Wide receivers, let's go. Loaded this week, man. I love wide receiver this week. And you're going to have the pick of the litter up top. You have Jamar Chase against the Panthers. You have Marvin Harrison against the Washington Commanders. You have Rashee Rice, who is basically just the guy now in Kansas City against the Chargers. Nico, your boy Nico. If Devonta Smith plays, I love him. But I'm going to go with my number one, Marvin Harrison. In the first week, Ben, sub 10% target share. Listen to this. The last 2 weeks, 35% target share, 53% of air yards for the Cardinals offense. And Trey McBride might be out. Say everything positive, any glowing response to this Washington offense that you want last night, and I think it would be well warranted. Also, a true indictment on the Bengals defense. But there is not one positive thing you could say about Washington's defense outside of maybe they had a couple goal line stops. Aside from that, they got gutted. So I like Marvin Harrison. I am willing to pay for him this week in stacks and solo.
Yeah, I mean, look what Chase just did. It's
on 7 targets.
That's what I mean. Now Chase is going to be really popular too, because
I like him.
Yeah, it's hard not to. I'll say this. I think it's clearly Harrison and Chase. The mega mind genius play is Devante Adams. Neighbors, who is amazing, but so is Devante Adams. Cleveland's a joke. Cleveland is just a joke. I fear their defense, but I shouldn't.
I hear you.
Devante Adams can handle that.
After week 2, you're like, okay, the vaunted Cleveland defense is back. But then you see, oh, wait a second. No, Jacksonville just sucks ass. And that's who they faced. You know?
Like,
that's the
Giants
problem with
no
early
problem.
season football.
That's right. Myles Garrett got banged up as well. I mean, they're a mess. It's not to say he's the best play. It's when we start to refine this as we get later in the week and everybody's going to Harrison and Chase and Rice and Nico, I will definitely look to Devante Adams as a lower owned elite pay up option.
Well, you know you're never going to get pushback on that from me. I love Devante Adams all the time. I don't know how much I love him this week. We don't even know if it's going to be Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell.
I honestly don't know if it matters.
It probably doesn't. Like, Adams should get 20 targets. He really should.
Yep. I'll roll with him.
But he should. But also, if Jamar Chase and Harrison Jr. are chalk, I don't hate it either. Like, I still think they're great plays.
Not at all. Like I said, that's one of the things sometimes, maybe if you're new, when somebody is chalk, that doesn't make them a bad play. It just makes them popular, and they should be popular because they're probably in an amazing spot. Like, people aren't morons. So,
but like last week, fading the chalk was huge.
And so it's the reward though. It's not that the guy wasn't in a good spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that these guys are not there's not a 100% probability that they are in the winning lineup or even close.
No, it's variance. Like,
if Devontae plays, you have to like him, right? Smith?
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's a great play if he's active.
He seemed. So when I say this, I hope you know what I'm saying. A concussion's the best for DFS purposes, the best type of injury, because you can't be limited with a concussion. He's either back or he's not.
Right. The only concern now is that, like, he takes another hard hit, but that is what it is. A guy could tweak his hammy. A guy could hurt his ankle again. It is what it is.
It's much worse to me if he's like questionable with a hamstring, because then you're like, well, he might be on a snap count. Like, if he clears protocol, he's just back.
All systems go. Yep. Right. And it's a lot easier to tweak a hammy just running.
Yeah, I mean, he took a brutal shot. I hope for his sake maybe that they hold him out. But
do you think that was dirty?
I have no idea. It didn't. Not really, honestly.
I don't know what to think about that. Was it helmet to helmet or was it shoulder?
It was like one of those weird plays. He was like held up and then a guy like kind of like speared him, but I don't know.
I'd have to go back and look. but
Yeah, I didn't see it a lot. I like him and I don't like the Saints, so like my initial thought is like I didn't like it, but what do I know?
I think that hit probably was dirty. I'd have to go back and look.
Anyway.
Either way, if Smith plays, I like him, Ben. I'd be very willing to go there, assuming AJ Brown is out, and I think AJ Brown sits again from the way he's talked about it.
Yeah, I'm operating under that assumption as well.
But give me MHJ, give me Marvin Harrison Jr. Is it going to be Devonta for you, Devante Adams?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. Again, I want to be clear. I hope there's context. Jamar Chase to me is objectively a better play, but if he's 5 times as owned, uh, something like that, Devante Adams is still an elite receiver, and he will have those type of slate breaking games.
Yeah. And he's done it before in spots that people didn't like. I remember last year against, I think, the Chargers, he had a 20 target game and he wasn't even owned.
No, he's like 3%.
What about Nico this week? We didn't talk about him. Nico's in a great spot too, man.
Yeah, I mean he had 10 targets again. It just didn't work out. So
Yeah.
I right back. You're not gonna have, if you had 20 or 30 fantasy points every game, you'd be the best receiver the ever style. Like you're gonna have some off games. That happens.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, people should wear that thing. I don't know why more guys don't wear that.
It looks so goofy, but they'll live longer.
I can't even tell.
What? Yeah, I guess not. What do they call it?
Guardian caps,
The
right?
guardian cap. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. It's mid tier.
Like how sorry, but like Tua, if he comes back, it should be mandatory that he has to wear that.
No, he should look like the kid from the Little Giants.
Yeah. Like why would you not wear that? It can only help. But no, seriously, there are they say that it can help prevent concussions.
Yeah.
Is it maybe there's something I don't know where it's like it hurts their vision or something, like their peripherals. Because if it's just style, like get over it and wear it.
Agree.
Yeah, I should wear one doing the show. That's actually a very good point. I don't disagree with that at all.
All right. Mid tier. Hey, Amari was great last week. He did it for me. It just didn't. What's up?
No, it literally, I turn on Red Zone and Amari already caught a touchdown. It was amazing.
You know what bothered me though? Because I laddered him up to 110 and I had him to score. He should have had 180 in that game. Like
Yeah.
Watson missed him 100 times.
That's because Cleveland sucks.
God, what a joke. I went first at the top tier. Who are you going for, in the mid tier? Say like 5,900 and up. No, 6K and up. Or
Yeah.
if you'd like, we can go Terry McLaurin and up because there's some guys in that range that I'm going to want to use in the mid and bottom.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep going to him. I think Chris Godwin is just perpetually underpriced.
He is.
Simple as
Without
that. I'll
question.
keep the low hanging fruit, but Godwin's just a good play again. Simple as that.
What do you make of Ayuk this week, assuming Debo and Kittle sit again?
I think it's fine that the difference though, this time they actually will be able to do what they want on the ground.
Yeah,
The Patriots are awful.
they're not good. That was like it was a real mirage, I think, the first couple of weeks.
I don't even remember week 2.
I'll
Who do they
go
play?
I'll go T Higgins here, man. T
Okay.
Higgins played 90% of snaps yesterday. He's 5,900. He's sub 6K against Carolina.
I mean, think about T Higgins. Not that other guys don't, but like multi-touchdown upside style, red zone monster beast. Like he can make those catches. I get it. It's an interesting Burrow, Higgins, skinny or Burrow, Higgins, non-chase stack is going to be like -% owned.
Absolutely. Yeah. Burrow, Higgins, Gesicki.
Yeah, or Yoshi.
Yeah. But here's where I'm running into a dilemma for the tiers is because I don't love the mid range. I think DJ Moore's solid. Godwin's great.
Olave.
Amari's fine, but I just don't know if I want to go back there after last. I think I lucked out on Amari last week because Deshaun's that bad. Amari's still very. Someone said he was washed on Sunday. He is not washed at all. Deshaun Watson's just awful. Like we should be
Yes.
celebrating Amari for what he did in that game.
Yeah, Amari's in the McLaurin bucket.
Yep.
What about Olave?
I'm not interested.
Whoa. What's wrong with him? He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player. I just don't really feel like I need to do it this week
Man.
because Terry McLaurin is against Arizona. I don't want to overreact too much from one game, but that was a great game. I like George Pickens a ton. I really like George Pickens against this Colts team. I think George Pickens is really good.
I think Deontay Johnson is really good.
That was my next guy up. Deontay Johnson is another one. Juwan Jennings. Listen, if Debo
Off
and
a
Kittle,
50 burger.
it's so dumb. But if Debo and Kittle are out, Juwan Jennings at 5,600 is viable. Roma Dunze at 5,200, viable. Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch at 42 and 4,300 are viable in that spot, especially if Trey McBride ends up sitting. The mid-range isn't bad, but that sub 6K range has a lot. Higgins, McLaurin, Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Jennings, Rome, Greg Dortch, Wilson. There's a lot down there, man.
Ton down there. Not that you're going to play this guy because he's basically unplayable, but I tell you, a lot of good starts for a lot of wide receivers. Can't think of a worse start for a guy that I love in life. That's Michael Pittman.
Yeah, it's not good, and I'm not playing him this week.
Michael Pittman is he's there's a world where he's going to be like a $4,500 wide receiver soon with the way they're going.
I'm thinking this through. And yeah, sub 5K for sure.
He could have been an $8,000 receiver at points last year, warranted.
With Garner Minshew.
It's pretty crazy.
Right? It's bad. And maybe, what is he now? He's 5,800.
And he's going to be 1% owned, and I think he's basically unplayable.
Even at no ownership. Well, here's the thing, Ben. Next week they have the Jags.
Well, that'll be the get right spot.
If his price comes down after a bad week to like 5,300, he's probably going to be chalky.
Yeah, people will start to buy.
How nice is this sub 6K range, though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could have 2 or 3 just like that. Great attachments to the stacks. I have no pushback. If I was going to pick one, I'm going to go Deontay Johnson.
I figured. Okay. I'm going to go Pickens.
Sure.
I think this could be the Pickens game.
I played him last week.
He's good.
Oh yeah, he's a real player. I played Deontay last week and he was amazing.
Yeah. Deontay Johnson was awesome last week. Terry was awesome last night. And even if if you went down to like a sub 5K tier, Michael Wilson was really involved. If McBride is out this week, that's a big deal.